Welcome back to Make Do with Miss Murphy. I have a lovely ball of yarn now, and I would like to crochet a hat with you. So if you would join me, I'm gonna crochet. The recommended crochet hook sizes are listed on the label that comes with the yarn, and it recommended M through Q hooks. So I have a crochet hook that is N, and that's my favorite crochet hook size for this type of yarn. And I'll be using that. So thanks for joining me. Whenever we start a crochet project, we start with the slip knot. So I do make it like a memory ribbon, and then reach through to get the yarn that's coming off the ball. Pull that, put it on the hook, tighten it onto the hook. Then the way I like to start my circles when I make a hat is with 5 stitches in the middle. So I yarn over and make chain of 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I chain 5, and then I come around and go past that starting knot, and I'm going to put 2 stitches in each chain. So that's 2 stitches in the first chain stitch. One, 2 in the second. 1, 2 in the third. Alright, in the 4th stitch, and then my 5th stitch, 1, 2. So that's dealing with that first chain that I made, and that starts my circle. Now to keep expanding on the top of the head, I keep growing my circle by putting 2 stitches into each previous stitch. So by putting 2 stitches into one, that is expanding it in the way that the circle needs to be expanded. And then when I feel like I have my circle far enough that I don't need to keep expanding it, then I'll go to 1 stitch per. I do not have like a written pattern for this hat. This is just instinct made pattern. I have made quite a lot of these hats because I really enjoy working with this yarn. It feels like I'm painting when I'm seeing these colors come in across the hook. And just painting in a way that I never could do, particularly with the brush and paint on canvas. And so I really enjoy it in yarn and hook across my hands like this, seeing the colors move. I feel like this is my way of painting in fiber. So far I'm still expanding with 2 stitches in each, but right now I feel like I'm centered above the next stitch. I'm not going to force 2 stitches into that. I'll just go with 1. And that's how I'm like crochet on instinct, whereas yeah, it feels like I'll go 1 for 1 for a few stitches, and then maybe now I'll expand again. So I think I did 3 singles there, and now I'm putting 2 into 1 to make it expand a little more. So I like to make, I don't know, some kind of winter cap, winter hat. This is mostly wool fiber. Let's see what the fiber is. 50% wool, 49 acrylic, 1% polyamide. Whatever that means. Maybe that's the string that is binding these colors together. Back to singles, 1 for 1. So going 1 for 1, maybe you could see it starting to cup a little bit. So I do need to expand again so I don't cup too quickly. Picturing this on top of a head, right? Because this is a hat I'm making, so I don't want it to be pointy cone head. I want it to lay on the head like a cap. And that's my starting tail. Will just hang out there in the middle, and I'll bury it afterwards. So it just told me I needed 2 stitches in 1 again. I was going 1 for 1 for a little bit, and then it, I don't know, intuitive crochet, right? So it just winds up having a space. Like right now it's 1 for 1, but right here it pulled back. Next time it does that, I'll try to point it out so you know what I'm talking about. I think it's going to happen again here. So when I pull it out thinking that's how I want the hat to be, it kind of makes space right here. Like there's room for another stitch, so I could still expand. Just seems to make sense. And if I, crochet and I don't like it, I can always undo it and do it again. Yep, still expanding. So I do not have a pattern to share with you of what the exact stitches are or how many rows or whatever. This is single crochet. This is spiral crochet because I started with that circle at the beginning and then I just keep going. So I'm not like stepping up to the next row. I don't even know what it's called because I don't work that way. I've always found that crocheting for me is just a natural, intuitive process, and I have not, followed patterns to create them. I actually struggled for years to even read a pattern until a friend of mine suggested reading it out loud, that it might be less confusing if I heard it out loud instead of just like looking at these abbreviations. And that did work. I was able to read a pattern, and when I read it out loud, it made sense to me. I still didn't use a pattern yet, but at least it made better sense. So it was one way of unlocking that as a possible avenue for me. Yummy blue. See? Blue just comes in. It's so rich, right next to that green, and it just feels like a glorious evening in the woods kind of vibe right there. I think some of what I enjoy about crocheting with this yarn is that the randomness of how the colors align, and so seeing colors unexpectedly together makes me, think of a moment in time of some other time, so it's a little bit like time travel. Thinking about, oh, that's like in the spring garden, or seaside woods, or just another place and time where those colors might appear together. Like, oh, delicious yellow coming in. It's just so bright and vibrant. You can see I adjust it and pull it to be like, this is be a hat, and I pull the stitches and see if they're settling correctly, if I like how that's growing. This yarn is actually the same yarn that I made my very first hat from working with these yarns. I mean, I've made hats before, but discovering this yarn at So Original Yarn Shop, it's, I think, from Italy, I think was where that came from. Discovered the yarn. It's so delicious. I had to have it, and I made this hat, this color, for my first hat. And since I have made more than 10 hats out of this yarn, I just love working with it. And so I do have a portfolio of the hats I made. It's on our website, saramarstudios.com. I shared on my portion of that website, there is a portfolio with pictures of hats I made using different colors of this yarn and various other yarns as well to make hats. Because it's a fun, I think crocheting hats is a fun way to, spend some time, get yarn in your hand, feel like you're painting, but it's not messy like painting can be, if you do it right. So I enjoy crocheting it. I think it's also rather therapeutic to be doing something with your hands, making something, and I do enjoy making something that someone else will wear, and maybe they will feel the love and creativity that I put into it as I was making it, and they will feel that through their skull. It's fun when the color clusters and is next to itself again, and it makes like a bigger patch. But just, so beautiful. Beautiful. And over here, the way the red and green along the stitches, is just delightful. I also like how, so I do, this is single crochet. I go into the back part of the stitch. So that's what creates this like ridges of stitches that are still showing. It's because I go into the back part of the stitch. I guess traditionally people might be going through both, like so going under that into that part of the stitch, but I'm not. I'm going into that back part of the stitch. So that's a good hat start so far. Sometimes just take a moment and say hello to your hands. I think it's good whenever you're drawing or crocheting or sculpting, doing things with your hands, to stop and give thanks and stretch them a little bit. Get your blood circulating to all parts, and then get back to work. That's some yummy colors right in there. as the hat gets bigger, there's a lot more of just the one-to-one, one stitch in each previous stitch. So out here was where we were expanding a lot, and then now it's just an occasional expansion. So expanding meaning like this, where I'm seeing some of that pull, so I'll put a second stitch in to expand it. And because I'm not following a pattern, I'm just randomly, you know, like listening to when the hat wants another stitch in that space. That's how I like to work, and it's a completely valid way of creating. I always like to go back and give that little squeeze and massage. I think sometimes it's called blocking when you, I think that's when maybe you iron your work to like lock in the stitches in place. But for me, I just like gripping it, pinching it. I feel like, you know, tells the yarn that's where you're gonna stay. That's your place. Oh, these are just delightful. Like playing with dandelions and making a dandelion crown. It's kind of what those colors made me think of right there. Yeah, I really like the way the color pulls into the next color. The way the stitches interlock is just beautiful. Just, I used to only crochet in the wintertime. But as I came to see that my crochet is a way of self-regulating, of providing comfort to myself, that self-soothing aspect of just seeing delicious color and seeing something grow in my hands and just really enjoying it. It's not a certain time of year, you know. It's okay to crochet in the summertime too, or anytime. I like to bring yarn along with me to places when I know that I need to wait for someone, as I'm thinking about the person I'm waiting for and just filling with love. And I just think it's a good time for meditation and a sense of quiet, calm, purpose. Just something about this with the yellow and the green together right there reminds me of like dandelion stains on my fingers or something from trying to make a crown. Oh, here comes some delicious blue again. Yummy. I have never done a hat start to finish nonstop. I always take a break or do a few rows, go do something else. You know, it satisfies that need to switch and jump to different things. So I'm really overcoming my natural instincts here with stay and finish the entire thing. Because I wanted to show you how I crochet a hat, start to finish. And I just love the design that it makes. And I don't know whose head this is going to fit, who's going to go on. I don't know that. But I can still put love and sunshine into every stitch, that whoever wears it will be happy and healthy and enjoy their days. So delicious. One thing I do love about crocheting is that sometimes when you're crocheting, you can kind of feel the echoes of other times that you've crocheted. And so I remember Sue Krause that taught me to crochet when I was 8 years old. My grandmother's friend was also right-handed, and she taught me to crochet. And years ago, we had a crochet club at our school run by Miss Simmons, and she would teach the girls to crochet and host it in the art room. And so I was there, and I got to be a part of that, you know, beginning years of people crocheting and teaching various friends, and it's just lovely. It's such a, you know, you can crochet with other people, you can crochet alone, and it is just a lovely way to spend your time. Yeah, I'm just, today particularly, really digging that color combo right there. Yum, yum. And then I like how this peachy tone jumps in, and it's all shiny, right? Next to the other ones that were matte finish. And it just gives variety to it, gives it that little bit of sparkle shine. I think that helps create depth to the composition. Something I haven't done is put it on my own head, which I do that to see that I need to expand it more. or it'll be a cone hat. Nothing wrong with a cone hat. That works great on some people. And it's interesting, you know, there's this reflex that you have sometimes when you enjoy something so much, you feel the sensation in your teeth that you just want to bite it. And so that's how I feel about this color blue right here. It feels like I could just sink my teeth into it. But of course I won't, because then they would be caught in between my teeth, and then no thanks. But I just enjoy thinking of that. Color, a lot of times with really yummy colors, I get that response of, I just want to bite it. Coming along. Always take care of yourself too. So it's not just the artwork that you take care of, but take care of your body as you're creating. Listen to yourself when you need to take a moment and walk away. Whether that's just from fatigue or whether that's from like a repetition fatigue kind of thing. Like that's why I stop and rub my hands, because it builds up and that helps to release it. But sometimes if you're working on something that you're having to make decisions about, it could be frustrating or whatever. If you take a break, walk away, get some fresh air, come back, it can help you to see it differently. Maybe see what a different angle or something you're missing. And I always, over the course of my artistic career, have used that to step away and come back. It can help with a lot of things, I think. I think I would like to make another video for you with a really up close view of this, because it is just fantastic. Oh, so pretty. I just love this yarn. When I do that and put it on my head, it shows me kind of how the hat wants to expand. So that helps me to know, oh, I need to, you know, double up on my stitches to help expand the circle, the circumference. It's funny, I'm noticing that the blue is clumping, you know, gathering itself, but also like here the red did, but I really noticed that the blue is. And that looks more blue and yellow, and that's more red and blue. It just does what it wants, and I think that we have a lot of situations in our world where things just happen, and in some cases like this, it's like a delightful surprise of what comes together. Probably down to the last couple rows here. Usually like it to come down over the ears a little bit and then stop. And I generally with this yarn I don't make like the cuff on the hat. I just, you know, go to where it's going to stop and stop. And that's the style that I like for this yarn. Getting close, maybe just 1 or 2 rows more. It's funny, I was making hats and then I realized I could also make baskets. If I just made the top of the hat flatter, it turned into a basket, which is fun. So I guess I'll probably make a video about crocheting a basket. I like using multiple yarns at once to crochet, so I think I want to show you about that. Sometimes my hook is getting caught on there's a thin filament that's running on here, and sometimes my hook is getting caught in that. So if you notice the rhythm of my stitching changes, sometimes I'm just trying to get away from that being caught funny. In the sunshine, that is just so beautiful. That seems pretty close to done. Maybe half a row more. And I'm just guessing. But it makes sense, like if you're making a hat and then you measure it on a head of a person to be able to tell if you've gone far enough instead of just crocheting in the dark, so to speak. But I know for some people it would perhaps cause them distress to not have a pattern to use, to know like exactly what you're making. And it seems kind of funny to me that for me the pattern causes distress, like being told exactly what I should be doing and then having to count and stuff. I just really prefer like exploring, discovering on my own, you know. Like, oh, that didn't work out, so I should do less stitches there next time. Or, you know, let me take out the stitches and do that area again, or whatever. Just explore and discover, like life. Figure it out as you go and have fun along the way, and don't be hard on yourself about it. Some good stuff. Maybe after this blue, let's jump. Yeah, that really feels right on my head. So for the last couple stitches, I like for it to like taper in, kind of narrow down. So I don't do the whole stitch the same. I'll pull it through and then I don't yarn over. I just pull it through again. And I'll do that for like 3. It might be called a slip stitch. I'm not sure, but that's what I do. So then I'll cut it, which I forgot my scissors. So then when I'm done, I cut the yarn and pull it through like that, and then I will tuck that through other stitches on the inside of the hat. And there the hat is complete. Just so lovely. So there's my completed hat. Thank you for joining me while I crocheted it. It was lovely to spend this time together, and look forward to making some more videos with some other fiber content and some other things, just being creative. I hope you find time in your day to be creative and listen to your heart and follow those, you know, creative moments and desires that you want to make something. Go ahead and make something, you know, what feels right for you. So thank you for joining me on Make Do with Miss Murphy. I love you. See you next time.